Namaste, DDs. My name is Sherry Sutton, and I am your marketing mentor. So I hear from entrepreneurs all the time, like, God, I just don't know how to create content, right? I know I need to post, or I know I need to be sending out emails, but I don't know what to write. I don't know what to say, right? So that's the topic for today. Is we're going to talk about a very simple formula for how to write your posts. This is a little preview of a course that's coming up. We're starting later on this month called the Goal Getter Collective. I would love to have you be there. It's going to be a 3-month course, super unique format. So 1 week we're going to do some training, where I'm going to do something just like I'm going to do today, which is give you a little bit of training. But during that same session, we're also going to actually create some of our content, do some of the work that we just coached on. So it's not just teaching, but it's also doing. So that's in the first week. Then the second week, we're actually going to have a co-working session with you and all of the people in your cohort. We're actually going to do the stuff that we talk about in the course. Then week 3, again, we go back to learning and doing. Week 4, we're doing, and so forth and so on for 3 months. It's going to be an incredible program teaching you how to grow your business online, not just on social media, but social media, email, all the other places as well, because I really want to teach you some fundamentals, because social media is always changing. So the goal of the course is to teach you some fundamentals that you can utilize throughout the next 5-10 years of your business. So this is a little preview, one of those classes. If you're interested in joining, give me a holler. It's called the Goal Getter Collective. You can head over to my website, dd.marketing, and check it out. But let's dive into today's content. So let's talk about tips for easily creating your marketing content. Again, you can use this for anything. You can use this for text messages, for emails, for social media posts, any of those things. So hold on, let me share my slides with you. Okay, there we go. All right. First off, you have to have an overall strategy, right? Starting to create content, post on social media, send out emails. If you don't have an overall strategy, I really recommend that you stop and think about that first, because here's what the things that our strategy is going to tell you. It's going to tell you exactly who you're talking to, about what, why they should care, and in the places they go to find information. If you haven't really sort of sat with that and understood who exactly am I talking to, where are they now, where do they want to be, what are the key messages that I need to be putting out there that's going to get them interested in buying my products, and where do they hang out the most to look for information on the types of products that I buy. If you haven't gone through and thought through those things, what you're going to learn next about how to write really great content really isn't going to matter, because you want to make sure that you're saying the right things, you've got the right message, and you're doing it in the right places. So if you need to put together a marketing strategy, give me a holler. That's my superpower. We can meet and put together something for you. Okay, so how do you write irresistible content with ease? There's a 4-part formula, and literally you're going to just follow this formula and go exactly through these 4 as you're writing your content. So the first thing you're going to do is state your customer's problem. Remember that all marketing takes people, or the good marketing takes people on a journey from where they are now to where they want to be. So you want to make sure you really understand where they are now and where they want to be, and always start with your customer's problem, right? My biggest pet peeve are those emails you get. They're like, I'm looking for 5 people to join my blah, blah, blah. And like, no one cares that you want 5 people, right? What I care about is you solving my problem. So remember that when you're writing your content. Again, that's something that our marketing plan does for us. Excuse me. I didn't caffeinate well enough yet this morning. All right, so first we're going to state our customer's problem, and we're going to go through these in more detail here in a minute. The second thing you're going to do is show empathy. The third thing you're going to do is give them advice on how to solve their problem. And the fourth thing you're going to do is invite them to engage. So let's talk a little bit more about stating your customer's problem. I talked about this a minute ago, but you really want to make sure that you deeply understand, where are my customers now? What are they struggling with, right? Why do they need my product? And what do they know that they need? before they buy my product. So that's a little bit of a twist. I'm going to say it again. It's not what do they need, it's what do they know that they need. Okay, so I've had some clients in the past who they have these incredible, whatever it is, let's say an incredible exercise program, right? Or an incredible diet. All right, let's talk about a diet first. So they've got an incredible diet and they come out and they start talking about, our product has, 3 vegetables a day and blah, blah, blah. And it has all these things. So you go right to the features of the diet itself, as opposed to, well, why does somebody want to diet in the first place? You want to take the customer experience back a few points, right? You don't want to go straight to what they get with the product. You want to start with, why does somebody need to look for a diet in the first place, right? So an example could be like, did you gain a few pounds over the holidays, right? Are you not fitting into those new jeans that you got, under the Christmas tree, which I got new jeans and they're a little tight after the holidays. So I understand that one well. So think about, what is your customer's problem from their perspective? Don't go directly to the advice. That comes up in step 3. You want to start first with stating the customer's problem. So a great way of doing that is, let's say we're using this diet example, and I'm going to have more examples in a minute, but let's say we're going to use this diet example. You can start with, did you gain a few pounds over the holidays, right? Are your pants not, do you need to go back to the office and your pants aren't fitting, right? Or do you need to get on Zoom and your pants aren't fitting, right? Whatever that might be. So start with your customer's challenge. The second thing you want to do is to show empathy. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this. You just want to make sure people don't feel alone, right? You don't want them to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm the only person who's gained weight, right? And there's lots of different ways that you can show empathy. And I've got 3 outlined here. The first one is to share a personal experience. And what this looks like is something like, I get it. When I was starting my business, I felt the same way. Or I get it. I've shared the story with you a minute ago. I get it. I got brand new jeans under the Christmas tree and they were a little tight yesterday, right? The second thing you can do is to show industry data. So let's go along, keep going with this diet example. You could do something like, whatever, some, body of knowledge says that on average, people gain 10 pounds between Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? Here's another example that I've got on the screen. You could say something like, you're not alone. Research from the Institute of, blah, 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 shows that 50% of the population has the same challenge. Just let them feel like they're not alone. A third way that you can do that is to share professional experience, right? You could talk from your role as someone who provides diets or coaches or, whatever it is that you do. So you could say something like, it's more common than you think. As a coach, I hear this from my clients all the time, that type of thing. You just, again, want people to not feel like they're so alone, because you just hit them with something that they're struggling with, right? You started with a challenge. You're like, hey, you're having a problem with this, right? Which is instantly going to make people feel a little vulnerable, right? Because nobody wants to admit that they have problems, but they know that they do. So instantly they're going to feel a little bit vulnerable. So immediately you want to go to a place of making them feel comfortable by showing some empathy. The third thing you want to do is to advise them how to solve the problem. Now, this is where you start getting into the advice section, right? This is where you can start talking about your product itself. So you want to give them advice on things to do next, right? I generally recommend keeping it to no more than 3 points. After 3, people just get a little overwhelmed. I mean, you guys get it, right? So much, especially on social media and email, anything these days, it's all swipe, 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 right? It's got to be super fast, super short, super catchy. You're not going to be able to tell them everything about your product, and that's okay. What are those super high level points, right? And the answer can't be, you're screwed unless you call me, right? Like, that can't be the answer, right? You have to find ways to give them some tips that they can utilize, right? So it can be, right, some easy ways that you can start losing pounds over the holidays is, cut out sugar or whatever it might be. But then you want to say, if you're really ready to lose weight, or even if doing this sounds overwhelming, now you can say, give me a call. And that's our next, that's our next step. But you want to come from a place of being genuinely helpful and supportive, and you want to build trust and authority, because when somebody needs you, if they've seen that you are out there, that you're being of service, that you are genuine, and that you are a trustworthy and authoritative person on that subject matter, they're going to come to you, right? I'm going to be honest. This presentation today is my way of giving you advice, right? Sure. Do I hope? And you're going to see that at the end, I'm going to share with you an invitation to continue to engage with me. But even if you don't, right, I hope that you get something out of this presentation, even if you never buy from me, right? My goal here is to be of service to people who are building their businesses and don't really know how to market themselves. And then if it makes sense for you, great. I've got some programs that we can work together on. But at this stage, you really just want to give them advice on how to solve their challenge. The fourth thing, rather, that you want to do is invite them to engage. So sometimes this is called a call to action if you guys have taken any other marketing courses. But definitely you want to be very clear and specific with only one choice, right? Sometimes people will say, well, if you want this, you can buy this. If you want this, you can buy this. If you want this. And that's great. And we love that you have lots of different products. But when you're creating an email or a post or, a text message, you really want to pick only one. Then, not all of your content should be about buying something. So there are lots of other different options that you can give as a way to create a relationship with clients so that you can drive them what's called down the funnel. And that's something else that we're going to be covering in the Goal Getter Collective, is how do we drive people from having awareness of us, right? Driving them to the point where they then consider us, and then where they actually buy. Because it's a longer process than just, hey, here's some advice, buy, right? I mean, that would be great if that works. And sometimes it can. It depends on your product line. So offer them something like, download my free recipe book. Let's say if we're still doing the diet, right? Download my free recipe book on, top 3 recipes to utilize this week that will help you to, lose a couple pounds. Something like that, right? Now you've collected their email, then you can start emailing them, inviting them to your other programs while using the same formula along the way. Also, ask for a conversation or feedback. Social media is designed to be social. And that means that the more you get two-way conversation, the better you're going to do in the algorithm, right? The thing that runs social media platforms. So you want to ask them for engagement, right? So you can ask like, hey, how many, who else has gained weight this holiday? Give me a drop an emoji below, those types of things. So it doesn't have to just be, go here and buy this, right? You can ask for a conversation or for feedback. So let's pull this all together. I've got 2 examples for you of exactly how to do this. So I'm going to go recap exactly what you need to do. So first, you're going to state your customer's problem. Second, you're going to show empathy. Third, you're going to give them advice on how to solve their problem. And fourth, you're going to do an invitation to engage. So let's take a look at how that comes together. So let's say you're a real estate agent. All right, first thing you're going to do, state the customer's problem. Should I pre-qualify for a mortgage? Great question, right? That's one of the challenges that realtors, I'm sure, think about all the time. Not just realtors, but maybe mortgage brokers as well. Okay, second, give them, show empathy. Sorry, I had to draw my own steps. To show empathy. So this is the way you could do it. This is a very common question for new home buyers, right? Make people feel like they're not alone in this. 3, give them some advice. So you could say something like, the answer is yes, getting pre-qualified allows you to blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm not a mortgage person or a realtor, so I don't know what the answer is, but you guys do, right? So put, here's 3 ways that that's positive. Now, the 4th thing you're going to do is invite them to engage. So here's a good example of that. I recently put together a webinar with the process to pre-qualify. It's easier than you think. Direct message me for the link. So this is a great example of how to go through that. I'm going to read it all at once without kind of interjecting the different parts. So should you pre-qualify for a mortgage? This is a very common question for new home buyers. The answer is yes. And getting pre-qualified allows you to boom, boom, boom. I recently put together a webinar on the process to pre-qualify. It's easier than you think. Direct message me for the link. So the great thing about this formula too is I could see somebody using this as their introduction at a networking event too, right? Like this is a great introduction, so much better than, hi, my name is blah, 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 and I offer blah, 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 right? Like it's very actionable. It's based on a customer challenge. All right, so let's look at a life coach. Second example. So first, we're going to state the customer's problem. Are you feeling overwhelmed, like there just aren't enough hours in the day? 2, show empathy. I hear this from my clients all the time. Studies show that 40% of people feel they don't have enough time to do everything they want to do. 3, give advice. Here are 5 tips for gaining an hour each day. Tip 1, tip 2, tip 3. And then 4, invite them to engage. My time management journal is a great way to track these tips. There's a link in my bio, right? That's another great example of utilizing these 4 tips to create really great content that's very engaging, but with ease, because it's only 4 little steps. So, as I mentioned, this is a little preview of what we're going to be covering in the Goal Getter Collective. It is a 3-month course. It's starting on January 19th. We're so excited. It's going to be every single week. One week, we're going to have classes and some co-working. Then the other week, we're going to have co-working with me where we're actually getting stuff done. I hear from so many entrepreneurs, they do these classes and then they get a whole list of really exciting things they could do and they get nothing done. So this is a completely unique format where we not only learn things, but we also implement them right there in the call. And so I hope that this helps to really, and I know it will, really drive your business forward. So if you're interested in joining that program, head over to my website. It's dd.marketing and it's /Go-Getter Collective, or just head over to dd.marketing or send me a direct message and I'm happy to send you the link. I have a number of different payment plans. You can pay all at once. You can pay over 3 months, or if you pay over 6 months, it's actually as inexpensive as $199 a month. I really wanted to make this program accessible to everyone. So I hope that you will be able to join us. Again, direct message me if you have any questions. We're starting pretty soon and spots are filling up. So I hope this training was super impactful for you. Go use it today in an email or in a post or in a networking meeting or maybe in a text, whatever it might be. Send me some feedback on how it works for you. And I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.